So you're the guy who can't make progress in your calisthenics journey. You see all the time when you go to the gym, you have people staring at you because they keep thinking to themselves, wasn't that guy using that same weight last week? Wasn't he using that same weight the week before? Is he really progressing? Every time I see that guy in the gym, he always does the same weight, same reps, and he always seems to go just as hard as last time. What's up with him? Well, here is your cure. I'm going to be giving you 4 proven ways that I've used myself and that I have used in my coaching clients and I've seen with people I've helped in general and just different communities that I'm in and just talking to a bunch of people who are within the sport of calisthenics. I'm going to give you these 4 things, starting from simplest to a little bit more complicated, but simplest to most effective at the same time. So, method number 1 is do absolutely zero training. You see this all the time. And guys who go on vacation for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, a month, and they don't train, and then they come back. They always seem to be a little bit stronger, around the same strength, or just slightly weaker, but they always seem to make progress really quickly as they come back. And that's because when you're super fatigued, when you're training a ton, when you're doing all the right things, when your mind is just absolute mush, when you're so sick of not progressing, taking a break from it and coming back is going to make it fresh again. Your fatigue is going to lower all the way down. Fatigue is basically the thing that stops you from progressing. That's going to come all the way down. Now you're going to be able to make awesome progress. Sick. This is very, very beneficial. This is what I would recommend for beginners, people who don't really like the gym, people who are like kind of like the gym, but really just need a break from it because it's so stale for them. That's completely cool. Taking a week off, 2 weeks off, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that in these cases. Second method, a little bit more complicated. I'm going to have to go into a little bit more detail. Fun training, but with using the right principles. If you want to max out and see how many pull-ups you can do, if you want to max out and see like how many body weight dips you can do, if you're used to like really structured training and you just want a week or two where you just have fun, couple sessions where you just screw around and do whatever, that's completely cool. But you do need to keep in mind when doing fun training, when testing your maxes, when doing weird exercises, those still bring up your fatigue. It can drop it in some ways if it's not super, super intense because of how fun it is. But if your problem is you've been doing really heavy dips for a while and your mind is just in complete mush, your dips aren't progressing, testing your 1 rep max for funsies isn't going to help you with your problem. That's only going to make it worse. So you do need to be a little bit careful with what you do. But if you want to test like how many muscle ups you can do, if you want to randomly try like weird skills you've never done before, yeah, it's going to be fatiguing. Yeah, it's probably not as effective as just like zero training at all. But you're still training. If you do it the right way, you'll still make gains when you come back. You'll still maintain the progress that you want to maintain. I just realized my mic volume was super low. I'm going to try and adjust it. All of those things. Doing the fun training is going to allow you to refresh, kind of get back into it, find a love for it again, and train the correct way. I kind of went over method 2 and 3 in my notes, which is what I'm looking at right now. Method 2 is fun training. Method 3 is fun training with principles. So if you are going to max out, only do 1 set. If you are going to go balls to the walls intensity, do it 1 set, go home. Workout shouldn't last more than like 20 minutes. Like if you want to test your max, do I recommend it? No, not really. But if you're a young guy and you just want to know for the sake of fun and you know you're fatigued and you know you're probably not going to like hurt yourself because you're really not going to be able to lift that much weight in a 1 rep max, do 1 set, do like 90% of what you think you can do. If you think you can do 50 kilos for 1 rep, if you think you can do 80 kilos for 1 rep, do like 70, 75. Don't go balls to the walls intensity, but at the same time, you can put a little bit of oomph into what you're doing just for funsies, just for lulls. Like it's not that serious, it's not that deep. But you need to keep in mind, train like once, twice that week, 3 times, absolutely maximum. Just do fun stuff. Taper the volume off, which is essentially just lowering the volume a ton. If you are going to do something silly or stupid or fun, do low intensity. If you want to do like a weird exercise or a weird gym session with one of your other friends, do that. But keep it low. If you want to play a sport you've never played before that session, then that's completely cool. But keep in mind, you need to mitigate your fatigue, which is the entire point of a deload. Method 4. This is going to be the most complicated one, but it's going to be the most effective for maintaining your progress. Structured deloads. What this means is you have still a set training schedule. You still know what exercises you're doing and what weight and how you're going to progress. You're not really progressing this week. It's based off your previous week, but you know what I mean. When you do this, what I do for a structured deload is, first thing, I cut off all isolation movements. If you're doing isolations, if you're doing like lateral raises for whatever reason, I cut them off completely, or cut the volume in half, cut the intensity in half. Let's say you normally do 6 sets of 20 reps with the 20-pound dumbbells or 10 kg dumbbells, whatever. What you do is you would do 3 sets, you would do 10 reps, and you would do that with the 5 kg dumbbells. Cut it in half. That's going to be just barely enough to maintain for that week, because what happens is after around a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, you start to not atrophy, but your body doesn't know how to activate the muscles as well. And the most simplest way I can put it, if you don't use it for a while, it's going to get to the point to where your body's like, how do you do a lateral raise? And then it's going to make you a little bit weaker. And if you're a little bit weaker, proportionate to where you would be within that certain rep range, then you're not going to be able to build as much muscle that first week back and all those types of things. And you're going to lose out on a little bit of gains. It's this like weird convoluted system, but that's basically kind of how it works in a very simplified manner. Cut out all your isolations. If you do them, then go down to 50%. Be in the gym max 3 to 4 days. If you normally do push-pull legs, if you normally do like upper lower, but like you add an arm day for whatever reason, do 3 to 4 sessions a week. I recommend, especially for calisthenics, cutting out a leg day. If you do 2 leg days a week, right now I'm doing 3 leg days a week with squats and deadlifts included. Do minimum or max 1, maybe 2 if like they're super easy sessions. But if you're used to really heavy lifting, again, this is very convoluted. I'm going to be telling you like how much weight to use and all that kind of stuff in a second. But just generally cut out the isolations, make them super minimal, just to either maintain what you have, or if you don't really care about them, don't really pay attention to them because they're not super important for anything. You're going to get those gains back literally within the first week, but doing them during the deload is going to allow you to get them back kind of instantaneously or more instantaneously. Instead of 7 days or 14 days it's going to take like 3, 4, 5, 6 days, something like that. Max 3 or 4 days in the gym. Again, lowering fatigue, super easy sessions. These sessions should not last more than like 30 minutes tops maximum. You're kind of just going in for the sake of saying, I still go to the gym and I'm still practicing the movement. That's all you're doing. You're mostly focusing on technique and just not feeling any burns, really, not feeling any aches, not getting sore, all that kind of stuff. Do, for how much weight you use, do in between 20% and 50% of what you would normally lift. This is not a very scientific range. This is a very practical range. If you're used to doing sets of 5, doing half of that is still kind of heavy. If you do 100, or let's go a little bit higher. Let's go a little bit more extreme. If you do 150 kilos on squat, for example, and you do that for sets of 3 to 5, if you do technique work, maybe a little bit higher reps, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 reps. Let's say you're transitioning into a higher rep phase as well. This is when I would start that process. So let's say you're going from like sets of 5 and next phase you want to do sets of 8, for example. During your deload, I would lower the weight a little bit more than I normally would, but I would practice those sets of 8. So when I go to the new phase where I'm doing the sets of 8, then I know, okay, now I'm used to this. Now I just have to focus on how intense it is. I don't have to focus on how many reps I'm doing as well because I'm used to doing sets of 5. Now I know, okay, I practice sets of 8. Now I just have to worry about actually lifting the weight because it is still a little bit intense the first week back and training light. And always when you come back from a deload, make sure that you're training light. What's next? 20 to 50% of your weight. Back to the squat example. You squat 150 kilos. Normally you do like sets of 3, sets of 5, whatever you want to transition into sets of 5, 8, something like that. Lower the weight down to 20%. Squats are super fatiguing. They use very big muscles. It's a lot of weight that you can lift. It's a lot of compression on your spine. Lower the weight 20% or to 20%. So instead of 150 kilos, that's, I want to say 35 kilos, something like that. You can lower it a little bit less. You can maybe go down to 40% or 30% or 50%, whatever. Just again, I'm not going to get you super stuck up with percentages because the point is the reps are supposed to be easy. If you know what RPE means, which is rate of perceived exertion, what that basically means is on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard did you try? 10 being like balls to the walls, it was impossible for you to get another rep regardless of what you did within a specific technique. And RPE1 is like going like this. This is RPE1 for me. I can do this literally infinite times and I will never get tired. The only thing is my shoulder might get tired because like it held up, but I train planche, so probably not. You want to keep these super easy, sticking within this set range. If you're doing half your working weight and it's like feel drained and it's like, oh, I don't want to do this next set, just lower it. Or if you feel that drain, just don't train. You go with the bar. Do body weight dips if you can normally dip 100 kilos for reps. Who cares? The point is you're trying to lower fatigue. And if the workout is making you more fatigued, then that is no bueno. That is bad. That is horrible. Subscribe to me if you're interested in anything related to my channel. If you think that I'm smart and you think that I can help people, then I would appreciate you pressing that little red button. It literally takes 3.5 seconds. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. I'm a small YouTuber. Be nice to me, please, because favoritism and all that. Anyways, I also have a Discord linked either in the description or in my channel bio. Sometimes the link messes up if I put it in the description. I don't know why. I'm trying to get switched to a school community very soon. If you're interested in that, then pay me for coaching, because in order to do that, I need coaching money. I also do coach people. I also am making a creative mode protocol, which is going to be this huge plan on how to progress and from beginner all the way to intermediate and learning your first skills and all this kind of stuff. Takes buttload of work. I would appreciate if you could support that even a little bit. Maybe open it when it releases. Maybe do it and make a ton of progress, which you will, because I am the smartest human to ever exist, said nobody except for my inner thoughts and ego-driven child. Yeah. Subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Cheers.